Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. I appreciate you taking out time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it, so thank you in advance. But let's get into it. So we're talking about a Disney game from the SNES and Genesis days. We're not talking about Aladdin just yet. Trust me, it's coming. We're talking about Maui Mallard and Cold Shadow. Now some of you may be thinking like, you've never heard of this. This is definitely a Disney deep cut. But this is from the Quackshot series. So a lot of people have probably heard some of the Quackshot games. But this is one of those entries in that series. But it takes a little different turn. And I always thought that this game was pretty cool for taking that turn and kind of introducing a whole new concept to a game that was already pretty solid in my opinion. But you're looking for the Shabum idol, right? Because all the Quackshot games are kind of like this Indiana Jones-esque. You're always going through tombs and, different, architectural structures and things like that, looking for, trying to recover stuff. So like you're not looting it, right? But you're looking to recover everything. It was almost like it was just like within like kind of the DuckTales universe type of game, but not officially. Like if we couldn't get a game where you play Gizmo Duck, this was like the consolation prize for that. But anyway, the other thing that was really cool about this game, besides the Quackshot stuff, is that partway through the game, you get the ability to turn into the Cold Shadow, which is like this martial arts monk that's out here protecting people. And I thought that was really cool because the Quackshot games were pretty solid themselves. You have a gun, you shoot things, you get different types of bullets, and, you just try to go from level to level. Very par for the course, but also controls and stuff were always pretty good. I always felt like it was a very fair game. Not too difficult, but not too easy either. But then they added this whole Cold Shadow aspect to it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely cool. And I never really heard a lot of people talk about this game in particular, but also like a lot of the Quackshot games you'd never really heard a lot about. Like I know in my household, Quackshot was always a solid choice, but I know when I would bring it up with people, like, yeah, you may play those games where you play Donald Duck and you got the gun, and they're like, nah, we never played that in my house. But so I felt like this is definitely a game that had to make the list, and this is kind of a shout out to the Quackshot series as a whole. But also, like I said, this is my favorite entry in that particular series. I want to say they had games for the NES, Genesis, and Super Nintendo. They might have had stuff, later, or even like on PC and stuff, but I didn't know. So those are the ones I seen it for. So those are the ones that count to me. The rest of them don't exist. But anyway, yeah. So like each stage there is you have to collect a certain amount of loot in order to progress through the whole chapter. And pretty much the loot is like right in your face. So it's almost impossible. Like you'd have to purposely not collect loot in order to meet the requirements, because usually it'll say like anywhere, like a lot would be 50%, and you'll probably end up getting like 75 to 80% just going on the path required to get through the level. But the gameplay takes a cool turn when you get the Cold Shadow powers, because now you have like a move list, and so you don't have guns anymore. You're actually like going around and you're doing like these different combat moves, and like you got to spin, you have to swing in order to solve. Like the platforming changes when you get this power, but it doesn't make the game easier. Like it kind of makes it harder, because you could be a coward and just shoot from afar with Quackshot, but when you play as Cold Shadow, like all of the attacks are melee, which means that the enemies can just hit you back. The cool thing is you can actually switch between them as well. So like as you progress through the game, eventually you'll come to parts where you have to be one versus being the other, and you'll have to learn when to switch and things like that. So it's one of those games that trains you in stages. It's not like it's not going to put everything on you, but like every stage it'll introduce, very Nintendo-esque in that, right? Introduce a new concept, give you a little more, and then eventually you got to put all the pieces together in order to kind of solve it. And the bosses will get tougher. They'll do more things to basically like cover the screen, and you got to learn how to dodge and all of those things. So very solid game. I didn't realize, like, there's a lot of Disney on my list that I didn't realize I had, because I didn't think about, like, for some reason I never thought about this game in the same vein as like traditional Disney stuff. Like I said, I thought about it more as like its own little separate world. But it is, it's Donald Duck, and clearly Disney style, animations. Like I said, it's like, I always thought DuckTales was a underutilized IP in the sense of like that was a whole like universe, and we only got, you know, one game and not even like anything later on with it. But that's just me projecting. So Quackshot games are always, like, to me, like another way for me to get more out of that universe. So I really enjoyed this game, and, you know, wanted to shout it out and put it on the list. Now, if you've heard of any of the Quackshot games, well, particularly this one, I'd like to hear your thoughts about it. Did you enjoy it? And if there are a bunch of other Quackshot games or anything in that type of universe of Disney that I just missed out on, please mention them. I will definitely go check them out. And who knows, they might end up somehow making it on this list. But as always, I appreciate you taking out time to check out this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.